Hello everybody and welcome back to the flight deck, and welcome to what I hope is going to be a successful flight. We're here in RAF Valley up in the Isle of Anglesey in Wales, and today we're going to take the CH-47 Chinook down and fly the Mach Loop and then bring her back, landing up here at RAF Valley. So it should be an interesting flight. There's a bit of a long leg down there and back. We'll cut that out and give you some views, but let's get on board and get the aircraft fired up, and we can start heading southwards down towards the Mach Loop. Alright, we're on board the helicopter now, so we're going to go through our pre-start checks. So EAPS fans and are off, doors are closed. External lighting, we're going to turn on the anti-collision lights, and we'll get all the dimmer switches up into the dim position. It is a daylight flight, so we should just need them for a little bit of accenting on the instrument panels. Just going to take a second to turn these all into the dim position. We're fully loaded with fuel. We're not taking anyone with us today. It's just myself, Roger the co-pilot, and the flight engineer and the loadmaster in the back. I think that's all the lights turned up. We are good there. Compass switch is set to free. That is good. Cabin temperatures are... We'll turn it up a little bit. It is March. There we go. We'll get that up to there. And we will turn the heater on. Electrical switches are all in the off position. We're going to make sure our APU is in the off position as well. Cockpit lighting is now set. Crossfeed switch is closed. All the fuel tanks are closed. Engine condition levers are in stop. FADEC NR is set to 100%. Pry priv switches are both in pry. Backup power switch is off. Load share set to torque. Turn the lighting on the other side. Turn on the instrument lights. Don't need the overheads. Emergency disarmable arm and dome can stay off. Pilot lighting is set. Anti-ice is off. Hoist switch is currently in the off position. Master hook switch is off. And the hook select is set to all. Emergency hook release is off and guarded. Hydraulic power transfer switches are currently off. Hydraulic flight control switch is set to both. And we'll pop down here. Fire pull handles are in. Cyclic trim is set to auto, and system select is in the off position. Alright, that is pre-start done. We can now come up and turn on the power. Alright, battery is now on. Caution light test switch. We'll come down here, do the test. Everything is looking good. And we'll come back up top. We're going to fire up the APU. So APU to run and APU to start. There she goes. Come up to the back of the helicopter. And looks like the APU is up. APU is in run. APU generator will now come on. Hydraulic power transfer switches are on. Parking brake lever, we will confirm it is set. FADEC backup power is now on. Condition levers are both in stop. EPS fan switches and doors are now open. And we'll hit the warning horn bell in the back. Just let them know we're going to be doing engine startup. There we go. So we are ready for engine start. Pop down here. Let's get the back doors open for the Loadmaster to get out and get ready for engine start. We've already got the side door open for the flight engineer. Alright, left main fuel pumps are coming on. Crossfeed switch is open. Yeah, don't know why that's cycling again, that's fine. Engine 1 condition lever will go to ground. Oop, not flight, ground. And we are going to come down here and start engine number 1. So once the N1 gets up over 10%, there we go. Engine is starting up, so we're going to come down and watch. We're looking for our N1 to reach 50% within 45 seconds, and our oil pressure to reach a minimum 5 psi, which of course it's more than done that. There's the engine firing up. And we're looking good. Alright, back up to the overhead. Engine 2 condition lever going to ground. Engine 2 start. Engine 2 is starting. Pressure is rising. Should see. Got to remember the cross valve doesn't work. There's the fuel firing off. There's the increase. The starter can come off. Back down. That cross valve should work and feed the other engine, but it's not doing that at the moment. Engine's coming up. There we go. Everything is looking good. So we're over 50% N1. And we have more than 5 psi. Temperatures, pressures, everything looks like it's coming up. Engines are settling in. And we are good. So our oil transmission is above, there's our oil pressure up there. Above 7 psi, so we're going to come up top now. Engine condition levers are going to go to flight on both engines. We'll turn on the generators for 1 and 2. APU generator is coming off. Come down a little bit. APU generator is off. Hydraulic transfer switches, we're going to leave them on. For some reason we turn them off, the lights come off on the thing. We're going to come up here, we're going to turn on the power steering. We'll need that. And the APU can now come off. Alright, we are ready for pre-taxi. So all our fuel pumps will now come on, drawing fuel from all our tanks. Just checking our lights, everything is looking good, and everything is good up top. And we are ready for taxi. So we're going to come down here. We're going to take our steering to swivel, which means we can now steer the aircraft. And what we're going to do is we're going to taxi out over here to the runway, and then we're just going to take off to the left, or to the west. So we'll taxi out first, get ourselves ready to go. Bring the track IR back online. So manual brakes are on. We'll release the foot brakes. And we're going to start to taxi out. Beautiful day here, a few clouds, light winds out of the west. Sure the crew chief gets his door closed. Bring the ramp to the level position. Taxi past the jets here. A couple Typhoons, some Hawk trainers, and looks like some Harbor 2s. And we're going to come out here and get ready to go. We'll make our turn here. And we'll get ready for takeoff. So FC selector is going to both. So we can do this while rolling. Is now set to both. Parking brakes off, cyclic trim, power steering will lock and transponder as required. We'll do that once we get out and set up. Let's check it behind me. Molly's right behind my seat, so I want to be careful here. So we're going to depart out this way, which is kind of westwards, and then we will make a turn, a left turn, follow the shoreline down. There we go. So here brakes are set. We're going to turn off the steering. Come up here and turn off the power steering there. And we'll do the transponder. So let me that's not where I want that. Let me reset. Gotta reset my view. Hang on a second. Alright, got the view reset. We're going to pop down here to the transponder. We're going to go into TARA. We're going to put in our code, and that is set. We're going to be in up mode, and we are good. So we'll get them to close the door in the back, put the ramp up. We can get that door closed as well, and we are good to go. So on the brakes, and here we go. Let me just get my map set up first though. Alright, got everything reset. We are good to go. Well, brakes released. Start coming up on the power. Or on the collective. There we go. Starting to roll. Up we go. Again, we're going to head down the runway, climbing up. We're going to go to about 1,000 feet or so. Good, there's 400 feet. We'll make our turn. And we're going to head down the coastline now. So we'll try to get her up to about 1,000 feet and hold somewhere in that area. We are kind of heavy. We do have a lot of fuel on board since we're going to be up for a while. There we go. Now we're going to follow the coastline. Not a lot of precision flying done in this helicopter. It's a lot done by eye. You just kind of keep your eye in, see how you're flying, and get a feel for everything balancing out. And it does take a while for things to stabilize as you come on and off power. But we're going to continue down the Isle of Anglesey here, and we will cut across to the main land of Wales, and then we'll head down to the entrance, and we'll see you there. Alright, we're coming alongside the Flambedra airport, and I'm not going to try to pronounce all these Welsh names. There's only one or two I actually know, and I will just butcher them, but we're going to fly down the coast here, and you can see the little inlet there. That is where we're going to head up the inlet, and we're going to be heading to the northern entry point into the Mach Loop. So we're getting closer. We're going to bring ourselves down to about 1,000 feet roughly, and again, it's all just kind of visual as we fly through, but it's a beautiful day out here in Wales to fly. Looking very nice. Some little towns along the coast here. Again, we're going to make the turn in here at the inlet and then head up following the roads pretty much as we go through the valleys. So we're going to come in from the north. We'll enter into the Mach Loop. We'll do the orbit. There's 1,000 feet. We'll do the orbit and then exit out through the south end, and then we'll head back out towards RAF Valley. Alright, we made the turn, and we are now heading up to the entry point. We're going to bring her down to about 500 feet. Try to keep her around there. Again, light on the controls. Try to keep that 150 or so speed at 500 feet. Alright, here we're heading for the town. We're going to fly overhead the town. There's the road. Come up over the town. Very nice. Coming up on this side of the river, up over this hill here. Trying not to be careful to be yanking and banking it too much, but we're heading up the valley over here. Road. Keeping the altitude, we're 450 feet. And we're going to follow this road here. And I believe this is where they get the photographers all sitting up on these hills here, watching what's happening, taking their pictures. Especially as they come around from the left, which will come when we come back out and exit. I think there is an add-on you can get that puts photographers up here. You can see the cars there. Over the loop, down the valley. And that lake is the exit point. Well, we're going to make the left turn before we get there. It'd be nice if somebody did a really detailed ground ortho of this. Here's where we're headed. Good, enjoying the sound of those rotor blades. Come through here past the little town. Working our way down, we'll pop the hill here. And down into the valley. Follow the river. It's going to lead us down to the next town. There's the town. I'm going to make a hard left. Overhead the town. I'm going to dive down, follow the road out. Follow the road here. Sorry for no outside views right now, but it's taking some concentration here. Trying to control altitude. A lot of stuff going on. 350 feet above the ground right now. It's coming along. We'll get her to about 500 and hold her, 400. Coming up the Gentle Valley here. Speed's about 145, 140. And we're 400 feet up. Again, looking very good. Cruising along here. So this is a pretty fast valley here. The jets really scream up here. Ground's rising. Just gonna follow the valley up through Abragnal and Mathwood. About 500 feet. Doing about 140. Very nice. Watching altitude, the terrain is rising. Just 300 feet. There's the first little town. Abragnal, and at Mouthwood up here, we're going to take the left-hand turn back into the hills. It's 300 feet, ground's rising. Left-hand split. That's your shadow down there. All right, and we have a left coming up. Come over to this side of the hill. Drop into the valley. Curve to the other. Watching the ground come up. 400 feet. And we're going to turn up the little valley there, coming up off our nose. Watching our altitude as the ground's rising. Pop up over the hill. This is where they catch the jets coming around as they do those big curving arcs and set up for the entry into that little valley there. And that's where we're headed. So we're down a couple hundred feet. Come screaming down the road here. There's the valley coming up. Make the turn. This is where we entered in. Give them a nice run as we do our exit. Go nicely down the valley. We're going to head to the lake. And then we're going to follow that line right out. And that is the Mach Loop. Come down to the lake here. We're about 350 feet above the ground at the moment. Very nice. Down in the valley here. It's 300 feet. And we're going to fly down the valley here all the way down to Taiwan. And that's our exit onto the, I guess, the Irish Sea. So basically straight up the valley here. Try to keep her below 500 feet, staying down in the valley. Using the radar altimeter here, not the pressure altimeter. It's giving me a more accurate above the ground altitude. Currently 430 feet. Ground's rising, so it's going to quickly drop. Carry on up the valley here. It's 375 feet. .400 feet. And about 300. There we go. I'll open up the back for the guys. Of course, we can take a look at what their view is out the back as we leave the Mach Loop and head out to the sea. Alright, we're going to go across the little lake here. And then we'll head out. There's the town of Taiwan over there. We won't overfly the town at low altitude. But we're going to start climbing out now. We'll get her back up to around 1,000 feet or so, and then we will head to our home of RAF Valley. See you there. Alright, we're coming back up towards RAF Valley. We're down to 1,000 feet. It's coming up on the western side of Anglesey. We're just about to pass over the racetrack that's up here. It's coming up ahead, and then we will be coming in. We're going to land on runway 27. Or at least target to put her down there. We'll see how it goes. I've done a little bit of practice since the intro videos I did, so we'll see how well I actually do here. Hopefully it is better. Coming in at about 1,000 feet. Just over 150 knots. We're going to start to slow down a little bit. Getting her back to about 100. There's that driving track over there for 10 o'clock. And I can see the airfield ahead of us. Runways, so we're going to start bleeding speed. We're down to 100. I want to take everything nice and gently as much as possible. And we're going to aim to put her down about halfway down the runway. Winds are slight out of the west, so it'll help. As we come in at a more northwesterly heading, but the winds aren't too bad. So we're lined up. We're just going to ease her in. We want to be doing about 40 or so as we come in the final couple hundred feet. We're down to 100 knots now. Keep easing her back. Watch that altitude and that rate of descent. Very light on the controls. Now we're going to lose sight of the ground. This is unfortunately the panel's so big we tend to lose a bit of sight with it out in the front. We're about 500 foot per minute descent, and we're down to about 70 knots. Good, a little bit of forward. Too slow. Oh, Molly's come in to see what we're doing. Let's keep our forward speed going here. judging when to do this stuff becomes the hard part a bit. Slowing down too early. Keep the speed going a little bit, 40 or 50 knots. Try to prevent her from getting out of control. Speed back. Trying to get her down on the runway. Watch that downward speed. We're in a bit of a hover. Forward, try to get some forward momentum going. A little less all over the place than I was before. Try to aim for the runway and not the edge here. Turn her into the wind a little bit, or down the length of the runway anyway. And we'll ease her down. There we are. We are down. So we'll get on the brakes. A little bit further off than I wanted, but that is fine. We'll get the steering on and engaged. And we'll come off and get her parked up. So I'm going to taxi over to the ramp. We'll see you there. Alright, we're going to bring her over here and park it up beside this, I think that's the west one, I'm not sure. We're almost there. It's giving us hand signals. Bring her around. There we go. Welcome to RF Valley once again. So let me turn that off so we can get into the shutdown routine. Alright, Alright, so we're here for engine shut off. So flight controls are neutralized, parking brake lever is set. We'll pop up top, heater switches are off. ACS switch is off. Come up to the APU. APU is starting. And while that ramps up, the door all the way down at the back. Oop. That there. Fully open. And we'll get those slides extended so they can walk down. Oh, they're not going to go down. That's fine. APU is now up and running, so the APU generator will come on. Engine generators 1 and 2 are now off. Engine condition levers will both go into ground mode now. Crossfeed is closed and fuel pumps coming off. Engine condition levers will go to stop. The APS fans are all closed. FADEC backup power is now off. APU generator will come off. We'll leave the APU on. Actually, we'll shut the APU off. We'll shut her right down. And the aircraft is now shut off. And she's just going to spool down now. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the flight through RAF Valley. We will see you all on the next one. Bye for now.